They thought I was lying until the security screen lit up behind them. The room went silent, and that's when every lie fell apart. My name is Malik Turner. I'm a 29-year-old black man living in St. Louis, Missouri, just trying to keep my head above water. I work 2 jobs, one at a warehouse at night, and another delivering packages during the day. Not because I love the grind, but because my mom's medical bills don't care how tired I am. That afternoon, I walked into a high-end electronics store downtown. Glass walls, bright lights, the kind of place where everything costs more than my rent. All I wanted was a replacement charger for my laptop, the one I use for online classes, the one that keeps my future alive. I stepped inside, and I felt it immediately. That quiet shift in the air, the way eyes lingered just a little too long. You know that feeling when you're being watched, but nobody's saying anything? Yeah, that one. A young white employee stood behind the counter, tapping on his phone. He looked up at me, not with a smile, but with a scan. Shoes, jacket, hands, like I was an item on clearance. "Can I help you?" he asked, already sounding annoyed. "Yeah," I said calmly. "I need a charger for a Dell XPS." He nodded, but didn't move. Instead, he said, "Those are pretty expensive. You sure you got the right model?" I blinked. "Yeah," I replied. "I know what I need." He smirked. "Okay, just don't touch anything unless I'm with you." That hit me like a quiet slap. I looked around. A white teenage kid was picking up headphones, trying them on, walking freely. No one stopped him. But me? I was suddenly a risk. I walked toward the accessories wall anyway. I could feel his eyes burning into my back. A few seconds later, I heard his voice again. Hey, sir." Everyone turned. "What are you doing?" he said loudly. "I'm just looking for the charger." He stepped closer. Too close. "We've had a lot of thefts lately," he said. "So we're just being careful." Careful or suspicious. Customers were staring now. Whispers. A woman clutched her purse. I felt my chest tighten. I hadn't done anything wrong, but somehow I was already guilty. I finally found the charger. I held it up. "This one. I'm ready to pay." That's when he said it. Out loud. In front of everyone. "Let me see your bag first." My heart dropped. "I'm not stealing," I said. He shrugged. "Then you won't mind, right?" That's when another employee walked over, the manager. "What's going on?" she asked. "He's acting suspicious," the guy said. "I think he slipped something in his backpack." I felt heat rush to my face. "That's a lie," I said. "I just walked in." The manager looked at me like I was already guilty. "Sir, if you don't cooperate, we'll have to call security." That was it. I felt small, exposed, humiliated. I slowly opened my bag, full of nothing but textbooks, my laptop, and a half-eaten granola bar. Nothing else. No stolen item. The store went quiet, but instead of apologizing, the employee laughed nervously. Must have been mistaken. That's when I noticed something behind them. A big screen. The security monitor. And on it, a replay button. I pointed. "Can we roll the footage?" The manager hesitated. The employee froze. "Why?" she asked. "Because the truth is right there," I said. A crowd had formed now. Phones out. Eyes locked. She sighed and pressed play. The screen showed me walking in. No grabbing. No hiding. Just me, walking straight to the charger wall. Then it showed the employee, reaching behind the counter, slipping something into his own pocket. A charger. The exact same model. Gasps filled the room. The manager's face went pale. He was trying to frame me, I said quietly. The employee started stuttering. I was just... "Stop," the manager said. Security was called. And this time not for me. I stood there, heart pounding, as the same people who had looked at me like a criminal now looked at him. The truth had flipped everything. A woman walked over to me. "I'm so sorry," she said softly. "I should have spoken up." I nodded. "It's okay," I said. "But it wasn't. Not really. I bought my charger. The manager gave it to me for free. But I didn't feel like I'd won. Because I shouldn't have had to prove my innocence in the first place. That's the thing about racism. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. polite, smiling. It hides behind store policy and just being careful. But it cuts just as deep. That day, a camera saved me. But what about the days when there's no footage? What about the people who don't get believed? All I know is this. I walked in just wanting a charger. I walked out reminded of who this world thinks I am. And still, I stood tall. Because my dignity doesn't need permission. And neither does yours. That night, I sat alone in my car outside the store, hands still shaking on the steering wheel. The sun was setting, painting the parking lot in soft orange and gold, but inside me, everything felt heavy. I kept replaying it in my head. The looks, the whispers, the way I had been treated like a threat instead of a customer. I thought about my mom, how she raised me to speak clearly, walk tall, and never let anyone tell me I was less than human. And I realized something painful. No matter how hard I work, no matter how polite I am, there will always be someone ready to see my skin before they see my soul. But there was something else too. That day, I didn't run. I didn't lower my eyes. I didn't disappear. I stood. And sometimes, that's all it takes to crack a lie wide open. Maybe you felt it too. That quiet moment when you're treated differently, and you wonder if anyone else even notices. This story is for you. Because your truth deserves space. Your voice deserves to be heard. And your humanity is not up for debate. We are more than what the world tries to label us. We always have been. I didn't drive away right away. I just sat there, watching people come and go, wondering how many of them were carrying stories just like mine. Stories they never got to tell. Moments where they swallowed the hurt just to keep the peace. I thought about all the times I'd been followed in stores. All the times someone crossed the street when they saw me walking toward them. All the times my silence felt safer than my truth. And I realized something that scared me. The world had slowly trained me to shrink, to take up less space, to apologize for existing. But that day in that store, something broke open inside me. Not in anger, but in clarity. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to humiliate anyone. I just wanted to be seen. Really seen. Not as a stereotype. Not as a suspicion. But as Malik, a son, a worker. A man trying to build a future in a country that still hasn't learned how to love him back the same way. I whispered a promise to myself, right there in the driver's seat. I will not disappear to make others comfortable. I will not carry shame that was never mine. And I will not stay silent when my dignity is on the line. If you're watching this and you've ever felt invisible, I need you to hear me. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. And you are not alone. Your story matters. Even when the world tries to erase it. Especially then. That's why we tell these stories. That's why the Black Diaries exists. So no one ever has to feel like their pain doesn't deserve to be heard.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Black Diaries. Your support brings us closer to our goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers.